What's the best evidence that Jesus existed? Well, it's the fact that he had brothers. So, my name is Dustin White. I am a former mythicist who looks at the claims of mythicists. And let's actually dive into this one. So, the fact that Jesus had brothers is something that is multiply attested to in independent sources. Now, we have individuals like Josephus and Paul that actually tells us that, in fact, Jesus had a brother named James. Now, these are great sources because it really satisfies what mythicists want, which are eyewitness testimonies as well as contemporary sources. Now, when we actually look at Paul, he's an eyewitness to the fact that Jesus had a living brother, a brother that could be identified. The fact that Jesus had a living brother tells us really two things. One, that Jesus did in fact exist, and that he existed in a not so distant past. Now, some people want to rule Paul out because his letters were later collected into the Bible, which I think is really a silly idea, but then we still have Josephus anyways. So when we actually look at Josephus, he's a contemporary of James. He's actually a contemporary of the events that he talks about when he's describing who James is. Now, we don't know where Josephus actually gets his information from, but it is very possible that he was either there or he knew people who were there. Now, here's the thing to remember about Josephus. He comes from a priestly family, and he actually knows the high priests. He's actually within that same group. So there's no reason to suspect that he actually had to go to Christians in order to get this information. Because again, he knew the high priests. He knew the people who were in that realm. So he could have gone directly to them. And if he's looking for the best information about this topic, that's probably where he went. Now, mythicists will make up a bunch of different arguments in order to discredit both Paul and Josephus, but none of their arguments really sit. If we look at the vast majority of scholars of Josephus, all of them accept that the James passage is legit. And if we look at Paul, the vast majority of scholars agree that he's talking about the brother of Jesus, an actual physical brother. Now, when we combine that with what we know about Josephus, this really becomes a firm fact. The fact that Jesus had a brother, a living brother, a blood and flesh brother, really tells us that he did in fact exist. And that's why mythicists try so hard to try to dismiss this.